Okay, so I'm just doing this video as I'm driving along here because I just met up with a friend for a coffee, and I just wanted to make use of my time, to be honest. And I think what I'm finding is I'm having a lot of comments from people about from women who are just feeling really lost and just don't know what to do, like they feel numb. And I just want to let you know that this is a normal feeling to experience. You know, it's never easy, don't get me wrong, when you're going through this change. But I just want you to know, like, please don't feel like you're the only person going through this right now. I completely understand why people sometimes think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Um, as I mentioned in other videos, when you go through this is because, your hormone levels are changing. Things in you and your body are like trying to like self-regulate, and your body's trying to find the new you, is trying to understand the new you. And of course, you can feel out of sorts when this happens. It's never easy. So I just want you to understand that please don't panic, or please don't feel lost, or try not to feel so downtrodden with it all. You will get to a stage where things will start to improve again. It just takes a bit of time. I'm just concentrating. So I just want you to understand that you really aren't on your own, and I think you just need to be realistic with your expectations, I think, is what I'm trying to say as well. You might feel fine one day, and then you might feel completely lost again the next, and this is going to happen. This is your body self-regulating. This is your hormones trying to figure out you, because of the change, and with the drop in your estrogen levels, and you're going to feel more out of sorts and stressed and tired and withdrawn. And like I found lately, my pattern of sleep has gone out of sync again. I've got to the stage now where I'm waking up now anything between 1:45 in the morning and 3 o'clock. And it's there's nothing specifically waking me up. I just wake up, and then I just can't get back to sleep. So I end up getting up and then going downstairs and lying on the sofa, because I'd rather lay on the sofa and try and cool down, because I find it cooler downstairs in the living room than I do upstairs. So I will actually, and I do have the fan on me as well in the bedroom, but I still feel that I need to move. Like I need to reposition myself somewhere, in a cooler space. So 9 times out of 10, I will end up falling back to sleep, but again, not necessarily straight away. It can take me a while to resettle. Sometimes I have to listen to something that I know can relax me, and then I will end up falling back to sleep again. But like I say, there's no one size that fits all, is what I'm trying to say to you as well. Like just now, I've just had a nice catch up with a friend of mine. It's just, Christmas is a couple of days ago. So I've just met up with my friend now. We've had a coffee and just had a nice little catch up. And then, I'm back home again now. I'm going to be doing a bit of DIY this afternoon, and I feel in good mindset to do it today. The sun is out. It's actually dry today, which is lovely. In Wales, it rains quite a lot here, unfortunately. But then that's why it's so green. So, the swings and roundabouts with everything, isn't it? So I know this is being shot at a weird angle, but it's the way I've got my phone attached onto my sun visor so I can talk to you while I'm driving. But yeah, so I just wanted to touch base with you all, really, and just say, look, please just try and be kind to yourself. I know it's so frustrating when you're exhausted, because that's the one thing that really gets to me is my tiredness. I'm sick of feeling so tired and just lack the energy. I mean, as I say, today I'm in a good spirit. I'm in a good mood. I've had a good catch up with my friend, a bit of a laugh and a giggle, and it was nice to hear how her Christmas went and what we've been up to over the last couple of months. and I feel in a good place, but I don't always feel this way. I do struggle with it as well, being able to do things. And you know we've been living in the house now for a year and a half, and the bathroom basically was one of the first projects we started, and it's about 70% there, so it's the only room that's as closest to being finished. However, we still got a bit more work to do. We've got a bit more plastering to do. Then it needs to be painted, and then it's done. So, I've asked my other half now to do another coat of plaster on the ceiling and walls, and then I'm going to work on the kitchen this afternoon. So I'm going to do some of the flooring. Um, you know, we work as a team and we do our best to support one another. And he understands that I do have days where I am just not myself, he's understanding. And I think that's half the battle as well. If you do have a partner that is understanding and, they're supportive, they're not going to pressure you into too much, then that is half the battle. And I'm very lucky and grateful that I've got that in my relationship. I couldn't think of anything worse if I didn't, to be honest. I would rather be on my own, is the honest truth, if I didn't have that. And he's busy too. We've got a lot of commitments, caring responsibilities between us, with family members and things that are elderly, and other commitments with things. And it takes its toll, and it's hard sometimes then to have the energy to want to do anything else. So I do understand that feeling very, very well. But whilst I'm off work, my full-time job work, I'm also trying to find the balance between catching up with things around the house, working on my own business, my own travel business, catching up with friends who I haven't seen for a couple of months, and so on. So it is a juggling, time to have, or thing to go through. But you just got to do your best, haven't you? And that's the main thing. But don't put pressure on yourself. Stop. Try not to feel so overwhelmed. Like I didn't stress out over Christmas. I don't see the point personally. Christmas is just one day if you celebrate it, and I appreciate it can mean different things for different people. I like to have my Christmas tree up and the lights on, and I just like to be home. That's my thing. And I don't want to go out the door. I used to go out all the time visiting people on Christmas Day, and I just felt like all I was doing was just driving from A to B, and I just felt like I didn't enjoy the day because I was constantly driving. I was on the road all the time. So my gift to myself for Christmas Day was to be home and just cook the dinner and watch TV, and that's exactly what I did, and I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed that. So that was my Christmas Day. And then yesterday was Boxing Day, and I visited my grandfather to see how he is, because he's now on his own after my stepnan passed away last month in November. So, I went over there to see him and check on him and things. So, I try and do my bit. And then I came home, and it was, getting on with washing and the usual chores, isn't it? Because that never ends. And it's fine. It's completely fine. But again, I'm not going to put pressure on myself anymore. It's pointless. Worry gets you nowhere. It's not going to solve the issue. If you worry about, I haven't done this or I haven't done that. I think I just thought to myself, is it really going to matter if I haven't put all the washing on, or if I haven't dried everything, or, if these haven't been ironed or whatever? You know what? The one thing I do now, I can't stand ironing. I do it if I have to, don't get me wrong. But if I can now dry something on a hanger and the creases will automatically come out of something, that's what I'm going to do. And 9 times out of 10, then I don't have as much ironing anymore, and it's bliss. So I also try and avoid buying clothing that creases easily. That's one thing I try and do. I try and wear clothes that will just, they don't get creased, they don't seem to crease, that much, or there's very little creasing in the clothing. So that's what I also do as well. That's just a tip that I want to share. Try and not buy clothes that crease very easily, unless obviously you have a uniform. I understand it's difficult. You've got to wear blouses, shirts, things that need to be ironed and stuff like that. I can completely understand. But if you can try and hang it to dry, see if that helps, because there's nothing worse, as I say, when you've got a pile of ironing after you've just washed everything and dried them. I just try and do things to try and simplify what I've got to do at home, not to feel so overwhelmed, and to affect my mental health. Plus, I try and do stuff on the YouTube. I've got more than one YouTube channel. I've got the Freedom Over 40, and I've got other channels as well that are faceless. So you won't know it's me unless you recognize my voice on one of them. So I'm doing other things as well that are of interest because I love creating content. I really have enjoyed that. But it's also still having the time, like I say, to do the filming, hence why I'm making use of my time now and filming this whilst I'm driving. So I'm just about to get home soon, or can't even speak. I'm going to be arriving at home soon, so I'm going to finish this video here. But I just wanted to quickly catch up with you all. I just hope you've all had a lovely Christmas, and I hope you've managed to enjoy as much as you can. And here's to the new year, guys. Here's to 2026. So on that note, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back again soon. Take care. Stay blessed.